begin the June 2025 Town of Washington, May 2025 Town of Washington Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. First on the agenda tonight is ZBA 1175, request of Capuano, thank you. 30 Tinker Hill Road for variances from section 11.5 and 11.6C, maximum lot coverage and minimum side yard setbacks for an addition to a single family home. So seated on this will be myself, Bob, Chip, Rod. I think I'll excuse myself. Okay, Rebecca. Familiar with the property. This is my old house right here. There's a cold issue that would make me tired. Okay. So if you'd like to. Okay. For the applicant.
Hey, good evening. For the record, Paul Szymanski, professional engineer. Here with me tonight is John Cost, architect, and Melissa and John Capuano, the owners of the property.
Okay. Would like to come up and explain what you'd like to do?
Yeah. So, subject property is located at 30 Tinker Hill Road. So we had presented these. We submitted these plans approximately 45 days ago. So we've made some improvements since our original submission. So I'm going to briefly go over what we were proposing, and then I'm going to go over the improvements we've made, and we'll give you those revised plans. So the original proposal, the existing home is partially in the side yard setback. If you look on the right side of the map, you'll see the side yard setback is the orange dashed line, and it's also in the front yard setback as well, just slightly. The original proposal called for the enclosure of the existing wood deck that's in the front left corner of the home. It called for a deck along the front of the home and then a terrace along the front of the home. And we also had a set of stairs. So at that point in time, when we were doing the original application, we were actually increasing our lot coverage, and our setback was currently our existing non-conforming setback is at 15 feet. So we were requesting the setback down to 6 foot 2 inches. So what we've done is John and I, since we had a little time to go through things, we went back to the drawing board and we significantly reduced things. So what
Thank you.
So, as I explained, lot coverage, we had originally asked for a lot coverage variance request from the existing lot coverage of 35.5% to 37.7%. Now we're modifying our variance request to reduce the lot coverage from what was 35.5% to 34.6%. So this was achieved through removing the stairs, and I have the revised plans here that you guys can look at. Sure. Yeah. So what we did was we removed the stairs that we were proposing in the side yard setback. Because the Capuanos looked at things more closely. They are finding internal circulation through the home itself. We removed the terrace that was being proposed closer to the lake. And we took what is there's a patio that was made of bluestone slate, and we're removing that and restoring that to a lawn area. So through all those improvements, we're able to reduce the non-conforming coverage that currently exists from 35.5 to 34.6%. As I noted before, we were asking for a side yard variance from 15 feet, which is the point at which the wood deck is that currently exists, to 6 foot 2 inches. By removing the stairs in their entirety, we're reducing the variance request from the existing 15 feet down to 13 feet. I put in the letter. I put It's 13.1 feet, but I was giving ourselves a chance during construction. We're kind enough to improve it. We've had some issues where during construction it's off by like an inch or two, and then we either have to cut it off or come back to ZBA. So we always make it like an inch or two less than what we're proposing to give us some room. So John's going to talk about the actual architecture itself, how it was respectful with respect to the area within the setback, his overall thought process as it was.
For the record, Jonathan Cox, architect. My offices are 46 Walnut Tree Hill Road in Sandy Hook. I have some small format plans. Got some of this. Half of that large format set if anybody wants to. So with regards to these are the proposed and existing plans side by side. So we've got the existing lower level. So right now the house is a lower level and a first floor where our front entrance is. So we've got the lower level here, existing first floor, and then proposed lower level. Nothing really happens on our proposed lower level other than a bump out down here, which doesn't impact our setbacks or anything.
John, one thing I forgot to mention. So as part of the original application, the Capuanos had the bump out where the den was shown.
Right here.
This was within the setback. So one of the things we looked at as a team, since we got to all the way here to present, we said, listen, that's in the setback. Could we move that out?
Yeah.
And then John worked with the Capuanos to change that bump out so it's in a fully conforming area, so it doesn't require a variance.
Right. So that was living under the deck over on this side. We shifted it over to this side. So we're not increasing any nonconformity there. So lower level, that's the alteration. The first floor is where we're asking to fill in what our covered porch is. So that becomes more living space to create our dining room. And really it's, we're talking about a 9-foot by 12-foot, 11 and a half foot space that we're filling in. And we're going to bring the existing roof line of that, which is this roof line. We're bringing that roof line straight across. So I've got a couple of photos here, which goes, and it's not an easy house to photograph because of how low it is, but this is the existing house right here. And this is our covered porch. So we're really just bringing this roof line down over it and continuing that line across.
So the footprint remains the same, right?
Yes, correct. Yes.
So you're just filling in an area that's already covered by the existing footprint.
Correct. Correct. So this, it accomplishes a few things in terms of what that existing covered porch is right now, or porch. It's not a covered porch. So we're going to bring this line across. That's what our proposal is. But that being over a finished space obviously creates flat roof condition and everything else. We are recreating that over here with our new deck build, but it gives us an opportunity to go in there and make it right. We're not sure how this is built, but ultimately for the interior of the house, when we're talking about how we're changing things here, that is our big interior. It helps with circulation. It helps with our kitchen area. The kitchen area is very tight right now. You can see here that we've got a big chimney right in the middle of the space, and the kitchen is tucked behind it. And it makes a very small dining area for the house. The other part of it is we've got a very finished timber frame structure. We don't want to impact that at all. Pulling this piece out with the same roof line allows us just to continue that beam line in there and keep our vaults untouched. So when we're looking at
that side yard setback, there's no vertical expansion beyond the existing roof line.
exactly, yeah. So this is really the piece that is within our setbacks. The rest of our overbuild area, maintaining all of our ceilings, is really overbuild because the other part of this project is to develop a second story really just creates all of this.
So right now, we're at 15 feet for that corner, you're trying to move it to 13.
Correct. So the deck,
Because I don't understand, it looks like it's the same footprint.
that's the deck portion. So we're proposing to bring a deck out over the existing lower level terrace
now-
patio. So this deck we're proposing to bring all the way across.
Okay.
As that pushes out, and also our building setback line is at a little bit of an angle from the house. So as our deck pushes out in this area, which is this piece right here, that's going to throttle that down to 13.
You know, ours is not parallel with the property.
Yeah.
If it was, it would be the same.
Yeah, so that deck portion, that comes out approximately 9 feet to the edge. Is the actual dimension of the deck. And then that comes all the way across the building, so that our access point to that deck is off of our dining room. So when we propose to pull this wall out, this is our access to the deck, our grilling area from the kitchen, because the kitchen is, closer to this area, so it makes it flow much better. Other than that, really, that's the area of work that we're talking about inside of the site.
How tall is that?
Currently, the building height is, the existing building height is 19 foot 4, 19 3 3/4, and our proposed will be 25 feet 3/4.
Sorry, repeat those numbers again.
Existing building height is 19 foot 3 3/4, and the proposed is 25 foot 3/4.
And that increased mass really is in the
Outside of
regulated area.
outside of our variance area.
In the hardship that relates to the property, there are two things. One, we have extremely steep topography, so it makes it very difficult to be able to look at any sort of other usable land that currently exists on the existing footprint. And also the fact that the existing structure itself is non-conforming. So what we've done with it is to not go beyond the line, so to speak, of the existing non-conforming. Our original application did. And as we thought about it, so we had an extra month to think about things. The Capilano said, are there some things that we could do to improve what our original application was before you even saw it? And so we've all been working cooperatively together to try to decrease our requests so that, lot coverage is actually going down.
That's in the regulated area, the Chicken Hillside. So no overhangs into the.
We're matching overhangs, so I'm thinking.
Yeah, and this portion of the house where the additional master suite is fully conforming to the setback perspective. And there's no, even though it's fully conforming, we didn't expand beyond the footprint in that area of the additional storage.
No, I mean, the volume's an issue. It's an issue where the new dining room is in that they're expanding the volume of the existing building within the setback. But volumetrically, there's no limit to the volume of the house.
Oh, yeah. Before grandkids, so there's like everyone has to
I don't have any more questions. Does anybody have any questions? I think you'll.
Looking uphill from the Tinker Hill.
can.
Looking uphill from the lake, that's looking toward the house, looking west.
Not that.
This one.
Not that.
No,
That's
that's the Tinker Hill. It's actually a hard house to see when you're right now.
You
Drive right past it,
still,
yeah.
the roof still doesn't get to the road,
Really?
really.
Correct, yeah.
You still don't even know the house is there, so, and again, when you're looking at it from, you know, I was very sensitive to not increasing the volume of full a second story, just by having a dormer in here, but keeping our roof line low and our eave line low, so that we're not growing, and you can see on this diagram, the existing roof line dotted in red.
Yeah. It's very helpful, actually, the red. The profile of the existing. That was my concern, honestly. I drove across the lake, I looked across at the large box,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was hoping I could replicate that, and it's not.
I can tell, so I try not to. I'm very sensitive to New England architecture here, and especially lake architecture. I do a lot of work in New Hampshire as well, so it's very important to have a lot of
Yeah, it's.
that New England lake architecture. Yeah, cottage.
That's what we,
2 colors ago, not you.
no. I really wish somebody took a picture of it though, because every time somebody figures out that we're in that house,
Let's see if I can find one.
Yeah.
I had some people calling me.
it was like a bright Mediterranean blue is what we hear.
Yeah, somewhere between your sweatshirt and.
Yeah.
It was brighter, much brighter. It was incredible.
Like a high vis blue, huh?
Yeah.
Then you can see the house. So.
Yeah, whether you want to or not, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys all set?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
We close the public hearing.
All in favor? Bob, do you have any comments?
No, I was confused. I finally figured out the west elevation, the west side of the house, not looking west. But, yeah, I wanted to get a good handle on the changes view-wise from the lake. I got that in my head now. No, I don't, I think I understand it, and,
And really, too, to repeat what the architect said, the only thing we're really concerned about is
when we're looking at this and
this corner, really, because this is all
this
within
corner,
the
right?
lower one,
Yeah,
because this is all within beyond the setback, this portion. It's only that portion.
Which is on an angle to the property.
right. But this, the major change is this, which is this.
Right, but that's entirely compliant.
I got that. I just wanted to feel for the view of the house.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay.
Yep.
You don't have any, they definitely done their due diligence to try to maintain the original footprint of the house, except for that one corner.
It's a little tough to take the house and just,
Why would you do that?
No, I think looks good. I support it.
Yeah, I think it's good. Reducing the lot coverage, I think helps. That's the side back yard setback.
I agree with everything that's said. I appreciate the revisions that have been made since the original submission. I imagine this to be a much more difficult meeting prior to the presentation. So, but I think the revisions are very productive, and by reducing the nonconformities, it's hard to argue against it. So, I think it'll be appropriate for its location, and it will not be the biggest boxiest house from viewed from East Shore, that's for sure. So. Well, exactly. No, I know. And that's intentional. Okay, so. ZBA hearing, Jonathan, on your drawings, I'm sorry, I have to ask you a question, sorry, the public hearing closed. Is there a date on the ZBA hearing, is that? 5/22, okay. Okay, so in the matter of ZBA 1175, request of Capuano, 30 Tinker Hill Road for variances, section 11.5 and 11.6C, maximum lot coverage and minimum setbacks, for an addition to a single-family house as depicted in the drawings presented this evening, dated 5/22, by Jonathan Cost Architect, and site plan dated. Thank you, with a revision date of 5/22. Howard and Associates. Ron, how do you vote? Yep. I vote aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye as well.
Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Have a great day.
I own their property.
Yeah.
They
You get it.
they took my house and trained.
Same. Yeah, I didn't.
Wow.
I love the house.
All of the state negotiated, one train, all this, and it's us for.
Hard to tell them,
They're all negotiated. This stone wall, like, is on that property. You're aware of these stone walls. I caught it when they were building it, and I said, "No, you're building that stone wall. Looks nice. You're building it on my property." And, they were aware, these stone walls. Yeah. And I said, you know, it's a long way from the house. I didn't care. They're 3 feet on the property.
Was your house where theirs is now, and so this was all empty?
Yes.
It was slightly smaller.
Different architecture. Well, yeah.
A little bit different.
A little bit different.
Oh, can I ask a question? Hi, my name is Ivan Komoritsky and I represent a neighbor. And the question is, if this is approved, when the construction will begin and how long it will last?
Well, it has been approved. So,
I understand that.
I mean, it's up to you guys if you want.
So after this, we have to go to, the Wetlands Commission, the Health Department, and zoning for staff sign off on it. We anticipate that's a 2 to 3 month process. And then we would be looking to start construction in the fall so that the primary portion of the construction happens in the winter months, when there's less people outside.
Great. No, that was the concern because the neighbor will be there in August and she was wondering if, this will be a nuisance. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Okay, well, we're not done yet, I think you're gonna. Okay, and next on the agenda is acceptance of the April meeting minutes.
I like. I told Addison I did.
I agree. So do I have a motion to accept the April meeting minutes? So moved. All in favor?
I
Think that's it. Anything else we need to discuss?
I don't think so, just to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
I
Oh, geez, guys.
Okay, and.